Hello, and welcome to the Bellingham Real Estate Podcast. I'm Paul Balzotti. I'm here with Eric and Bre Green. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
And Eric and Bre Green are they're real estate team with John L. Scott Real Estate. They also own the Greenhouse Furniture and Home Store. Today, we're going to talk about staging, and we're going to talk about your guys' journey into offering staging services to your clients, but then also to other realtors. We're also going to offer some staging tips. So, and some insights. So if you're considering selling your home in the next few years, just some insights to kind of think about as you're prepping your home for sale too. So let's first just jump into your guys' background. So Eric, how long have you been in real estate?
Yeah, so I got my real estate license in 2001. So I've been doing it for 21 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
21 years. And you were what, 14, 15? How old were you?
Yeah, 15 years old.
So, but legitimately, were you like 19 though?
No, I was 21.
Oh, 21. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're just a couple years older than me, and I started when I was 21 too.
Yeah.
And so when I started when I was 21, here, you were the youngest other guy there. You must have been 23 then.
Probably,
And so we were like the two young, bucks, and we're still here, which is awesome.
Right.
And then Bre, how long have you been in real estate?
Almost 5 years now.
Almost 5 years. And how long have you owned the greenhouse?
Almost 5 years.
So that is a busy year for you.
It was a really busy year.
And then didn't you guys also get married that year too?
We did. We got married that year too.
That's an unbelievable year to buy a business, to get your real estate license, and to get married.
Yep.
And the greenhouse, obviously, how long is it in the greenhouse? The history of the greenhouse, it's been there forever.
We're gonna have our 50th anniversary actually this year.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is so cool.
Yeah.
So you now you have a furniture and home store. You're a real estate team. When you bought the furniture store, it didn't offer staging services. Obviously, that's been something that's evolved. So Eric, how did that evolve? How did you guys start offering staging services to begin with?
So basically, we just started out just staging my listings only.
Right.
I mean, because it takes quite a bit of inventory, and we did without taking it off the showroom floor and staging several houses. We just kept it real simple, and we're just staging my listings. So, just showcasing our furniture in our listings not only helped our product, showcase our products in these houses. It also just really dialed in the homes and the value of the house.
So the house value is going up because you're doing it, right?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And you were getting a lot of questions too. I think when the homes that we staged from other realtors, just who did your staging?
Oh, yeah.
And so you're doing them in your own home, and then in your own listings.
Mm-hmm.
And then how does that evolve from, so it's like Eric and Green team, Eric and Bre Green team, the green team, the dream team. No, it's the dream team. You guys are the dream team. Yeah. So the dream team, the Whatcom Dream. Wasn't there your Insta handle? Is it still?
Yeah. Whatcom Dream Homes.
Whatcom Dream Homes at Whatcom Dream Homes. Check it out. So you're offering staging for your listings.
Yeah.
And so it's this exclusive thing that you guys are doing as a partnership with Greenhouse. How did that expand into now you're offering staging for clients, for realtors? How did that evolve?
Yeah, so it kind of just started out with other agents showing our listings, asking, wow, who did the staging? How do we get this level of staging in our listings? And then of course just kind of word of mouth that way. And then Bre got asked to be on HGTV.
That's right.
For some staging, and just blew up.
So tell us about HGTV, Bre. What was the story there?
I think that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother podcast. Stay tuned. And that really helped us because I never wanted to enter into the staging and have every home look the same. I wanted to make sure that we had enough inventory where we could really still showcase every home's unique personality. And just give it that. So when HGTV approached me to be a part of season 1 and then consequently season 2, I was able to build that inventory. We did 23 episodes total. And after doing all of season 1, season 2, I felt like confident we could launch this to Whatcom County and offer staging for everybody, still showcasing every home. Is just as unique as a home is and not just having the same, repeat inventory over and over again.
Yeah, because that's what most staging companies do is they'll have 2 or 3 sets of furniture, and it doesn't matter if it's a modern home or a farmhouse home. You're kind of getting whatever they have, and it is really unique and cool that you guys are taking. You have this unlimited, essentially, in some senses,
Yeah.
well, limited with supply right now, but that's another story too. But an almost unlimited amount of just things at your disposal to curate super cool staging.
Yeah.
So that takes me to my next question, which is, how would you define staging versus just decorating, right?
Great question. And I get that a lot actually during our home consults that I'll do for staging. So I always tell the consumer that staging is different than how you live in your home.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, as a homeowner, you get this personal attachment. And my job as staging is to make sure and remove your personal attachment from the home and really curate that personal attachment then for the buyer that's coming in. And the buyer that comes in may not be the same, person or lifestyle that the homeowner is. And so it's really just depersonalizing it for the homeowner and creating that look, really focusing first on pictures, first and foremost, and making
Right.
sure that the photos bring the the buyers in the home, followed by then just their emotion. It's going to tug at their heartstrings.
Yeah. So, but you do interior decor. Well, you'll go in as an
Yep.
interior decorator.
Yeah.
You'll go in and do design consultations for people who want to buy your furniture just as a greenhouse
Yeah.
owner. So that is truly a completely different conversation
Totally
than
different.
when you're coming in for staging.
Yep.
And is that also kind of a situation where, so somebody says, it's a living room, and it's like, you mentioned the photos. That makes a lot of sense because it's all about the photos and it's all about drawing people in, like you said. So is that kind of like, okay, I have this living room, and functionally wise, they live a certain way. So they want to have things this way, and they want to have this piece here and this piece here. But for what would look coolest for the picture,
Yep.
and what would look not necessarily coolest, but what would look best and enhance the space the most is a totally different.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where the TV goes.
Right.
When you're staging, right? You're cultivating
Or
that
is there a TV
emotion.
at all?
Or is there a TV at all?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it really removes the functionality from the question mark, of like, how does this function and live for the home? With first and foremost is we got to get the buyers into the home through pictures and video, and then having them fall in love with the home when they see, wow, this is even better than the pictures. It's even better than the video.
Yeah.
And just really building on that. But totally different from a functionality standpoint. A lot of times buyers aren't actually looking at the practicality of the home. They're just looking for that emotion to happen of just falling in love with the home. They're also not worried about where the TV is going to go. You know?
Yeah. And I mean, we're talking staging, and Eric, I remember that, when you guys first went down this rabbit hole of offering these services on all of your listings, I remember you saying to me, like, this is it. All my listings, this is what we're doing. It's just such a no-brainer. How was that transformation with your listings? I mean, you were occasionally, like, before, let's say 10 years ago, 8 years ago, you maybe helped a couple people hire a stager or something. But how did you kind of get rewired through this whole process as a realtor, right?
Well, yeah, it's just trying it out and seeing the results. I mean, it's the results speak for themselves. I mean, you do it once and it turns out amazing. So you try it again and you get the same result. And, we've done so many houses now, and it's the same story.
Yeah.
It's one of the best things you can do is stage your house. You get the most ROI for your investment. And
you mentioned when you were talking about before that when you come in and do your initial analysis, and then she comes in.
Yeah. So, like, more often than not, when I do the consultation with the homeowner, I'll, give them kind of a basic list price and more of a conservative list price, I guess, so that they're, just not getting their hopes up, for one, because, and being honest. And then, more often than not, by, the time that Bre is maybe halfway through staging the house, and our team is, that list price, I'm going, oh, wow, yeah, this feels really good. I think we should bump that list price up. And then not only that, every house that we're doing is going over asking price on top of that. So
it's literally changing your evaluation of the value.
Yeah, it's night and day. It really is. And I'm still not, like, I'm still impressed by
Right.
each and every house we're getting staged.
Right.
So.
It's still coming out better than what you can
Yeah.
envision, because your brain can only, everybody says, oh yeah, well, I can visualize it, but they can't really visualize it the way
It's hard.
that,
It's really hard until you see it and you feel it. It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think in today's market, everybody kind of looks at it, maybe if there's, individuals out there that say, I don't need staging because my home's going to sell. It's a seller's market.
Right.
I think that there's that also, just the point that I always like to make is you're working with a lot of buyers that are fatigued, buyers that have been out there and maybe missed out on a couple homes. And so they're coming at it, looking at it. And really what you want to have is that emotional attachment that the buyer has when they walk into your home, realizing that, oh my goodness, this is even better than the pictures in the video that I saw, falling in love with it and saying, this is the home. I want to put all my eggs in this basket. And really, this, I can't miss out on another one. This is the one. And cultivating that just emotional response and trigger from the buyer is really important. I mean, it's still, even in a seller's market, it makes a difference. And it's not just a small difference. It's a significant difference. You're always getting your money back.
Yeah.
And then some.
Because if you're wowing them, if they go from liking it to loving it, then yeah, they're going to go, okay, you know what? We'll go a little higher than we plan on going on this offer. And you bring up a really good point. I just had this conversation with somebody the other night where they were talking about real estate firms and real estate companies. And somebody asked me like, well, I could see how all the things you guys do, all the marketing, all the extra services you're offering, that's really great for when the market slows down. But right now, it seems like a harder pitch right now when things are like, when people can sell their house no matter what. And you just made the point perfectly, which is that it's not about whether they can sell their house. It's about how much money they're going to get. Mm-hmm. And if we can get them $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, if we can get them, 5% over or 10% over asking price instead of 1 or 2% over asking price, we're way overpaying, or we're way paying for more than we're providing. Our ROI for them.
Yes,
our value proposition is still way higher. So yeah. So very good. And next, I wanted to ask you, get to some tips for anybody listening that might be getting ready to sell their house. Obviously, if they hire the Whatcom Dream Team or whatever, the green team, but whatever. If they hire you guys for staging and or just listing and staging, they're covered obviously. But let's say that they're going in another direction, or they're just getting their house ready. They live in another area. What are some common kind of mistakes you see people make getting their house ready to sell?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, every home, I always like to say, first off, every home is unique. So even tips that I can give may not fit your exact home, or, every home's different. For some, maybe less is more. Maybe you have a recently remodeled and updated home. You can showcase the countertops, the backsplash, the flooring, whatnot. Or perhaps you have a home that does need some renovation. And in that case, less sometimes isn't more. It's actually less is less. And you want to, take the eye away to, divert the buyer's eyes. But I mean, you're not trying to hide anything, but you are diverting the buyer's eye and showing them really the potential that can be in this home. Another just common thing that I see is just people maybe misjudging the use of pictures on the wall, hanging too high, or doing too, many bold things or whatnot. It's really been a variety of challenges.
So there's not that people make all sorts of mistakes.
I see.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of ways people screw it up.
And I think the first and foremost, like the largest thing that I see over and over again is the homeowner just not removing that emotional, personal attachment to their home.
Yeah.
And assuming that whoever buys their home will want to live the exact way they do.
Right.
Which typically I go in and I try to say, okay, we have 1 to 2 buyers that are going to most likely, be the ones to fall in love with your home. And I try to speak towards both of those buyers and really remove all the personalization that the homeowner has with that attachment to the home.
Yeah. And that includes, the house already has furniture in it. Mm-hmm. And so it's the depersonalization of it. Then you're talking about also obviously decluttering. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the obvious thing that people know about. But then you mentioned something interesting in there, which is that it's not just decluttering, but if you declutter too much and then you draw too much attention to the wrong things, it might also be kind of highlighting one area of the home versus another area of the home, and thinking through that too. That's a really kind of, I've never really thought about it that way. And hanging pictures too high, I probably would do that if I was hanging pictures. So certainly if it's a bachelor, they're going to screw that up
Always
every time.
err on the side of lower. Yep.
Lower on hanging your furniture.
Yeah.
What else? Is there any other kind of closing tips or insights you would want to share on people getting their house ready for sale?
I think first and foremost, always take down all your personal photos. I think any realtor that goes into the home would say that. So just you doing that first, is just saves a step and saves them something. But also, don't be afraid. I think that every home needs staging, and that's just kind of how the world is evolving to make sure that your home is kind of just top of the list in, the budget and the range that it is. Don't be afraid of hiring a staging company. You will get your return on your investment.
Right.
Whether that comes, through escrow, the staging companies, including myself, can be paid a variety of ways.
Right.
So just don't be afraid to jump in and take that investment.
And that includes occupied staging, which means just even like redecorating what you already have, which is great. And then I used to also say that staging was like kind of wanting it to look more like a hotel room, but you said also a little, where I don't know if it was in this conversation or off air, that sometimes people can make it too perfect.
Yes.
So what would be an example of that? Would it be making it? I mean, because I always thought of a hotel as a good, making it look like a hotel room was a good kind of example of. Would that be a fair example, or would you?
It would, and again, it kind of depends on the home and the personality of the buyer that we're trying to bring into the home.
Sure.
But for some homes, I feel like the buyer needs to see that comfort and that warmth and that livability. And that always isn't given through hotel rooms can also feel really cold and clean, but very, cold, and they don't have that livability. And you want your home to just, really have that warmth. Maybe it's just lighting the candles before photos and making sure, there's that flicker of light, but really just, bringing in the warmth in is very important, especially now to buyers.
That leads me to, you can still call these guys. They're busy, but they're never too busy.
Never.
And for staging or for real estate services.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or if you just need, and what I love about the way you work, Bre, is that you're versatile in that you can help them literally with buying furniture too, and kind of hooking them up on like actually furnishing what they're buying. So on the buyer side, there's a benefit too. And then obviously Eric, having the veteran experience of 21 plus years, very, very good at his job. So thanks for coming on, you guys. Thanks for sharing your story and giving some insights.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Thank you for watching or listening. And we'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.